Welcome back, Chiefs fans. It's Bronco week. I know you have questions. I know you have thoughts. Hope that you enjoyed your holiday. We're going to get knee deep into your questions, and we'll come up with mostly answers and maybe a rant or two. Welcome to RGR Football. Welcome back after the holiday. Dan Harms is here. How are you, Dan?
I'm doing great. You know, my wife doesn't like chicken, but I finally figured out something that she eats and she likes. I feel great right now. So it's only been 8 years since, I figured out how to make her like chicken. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Let me guess. It involves smoke, cheese, and no. That's impressive.
It's very basic.
Okay. Salt, pepper, and a skillet, huh?
Oh, not salt, pepper, but it's like a twist on Nashville hot chicken, but it's not breaded and it is fried in the skillet and then it's crisped up in the oven. Huh? Yeah, it's
all right. You're gonna have to make that for me sometime. Now I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, Shoot. It's pretty good.
All I got is these Built Bars around. What am I gonna do?
Oh man, I don't know.
Folks, welcome back. I hope that you had a great Thanksgiving. I smoked the turkey. It came out great. Pretty happy with that. Saw some family, and now we're back. Now we're ready for this week. We're going to have a lot of fun here tonight. And if you're new to the show, make sure you like and sub and hit the bell notification. This is what we do on Monday nights. We answer your questions. Thursday night, Seth and I go through major topics that we see either from the week before, having seen the film, or what we're going to see the week coming. So that'll be on Thursday night. That's the other main live stream of the week. And then usually you get a breakdown. Didn't have a game last night, so you didn't have a breakdown, but I can tell from the traffic, not all of you have seen it yet, but Chiefs fullback Mike Burton was on with me yesterday. Go back and watch that. You want to see that. Not only is he just an awfully genuine guy about the way he explains his perspective on the team, but he's also a guy that wasn't here in 2020 and 2019. And so he's got it from a fresh view, and I think that's important too. We had a really great talk. I think you guys will dig that. That said, most of the business out of the way. Looks like we have some super chats coming in. We'll get to those in just a second, folks. If you do want to support the channel, that's the easiest way to do it. We thank you very much. We do appreciate the support all of you give us all the time, to tell you the truth. You can also check out the RGR store. If everything goes to plan, I'll have some new items in there next week for you to check out in time for the holidays. We got a couple of weeks before the Teespring shipping dates are going to hit. There's always that kind of thing. So I'm trying to bang those out. Also, make sure you check out Rogue Life. Looks like I have one to get up for Gooch. That's solo. And then on Fridays, you get the Rogue Head Huddle with he and Stevie. So that said, let's get into the super chats. And then from that point forward, I don't want to miss anything else. We'll go question by question, folks. If you want to stand out, hit that super chat, and that'll help me find them. And if not, put the question marks before your question. Stevie, thank you. Thank you. Hope all you Rogues and Roguettes had a great Thanksgiving.
Very much.
We did. And thank you, Stevie, for super chatting that when he could have just said it. So appreciate you as always. Sean, never happened, but Creed could be the offensive rookie of the year. I said what I said. If you just go by performance, it's certainly within the realm of possibility.
And it's not close, to be honest with you. I think Slater has the other possibility if you go by based on performance, but Creed's one of the best centers in the NFL. Bar none. If not the best center in the NFL. This is what it is.
When you think back through the years, Casey Wigman to Rodney Hudson to Mitch Morse to now Creed. That's one position that has really helped all the success that this team has built up over the years. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Michelle. Nice to see you again. Hope you're doing well. You guys fill a lot of my days with great Chiefs content. Keep going. We definitely will. And thank you for the support. And thank you for being here. I know this is kind of a weird thing to kind of get into. It's funny how my family's just like, why do people listen to you? We don't listen to you. They're probably at home right now going, are we really going to watch that? No. But just the fact that people show up and are willing to contribute to the cause and help us grow this thing, we're very much appreciative. Thank you, Michelle. And it's for all of you that contribute all too often. I completely understand that one person at a time is probably not the way to do this, but that's the way that it rolls out. So we're going to do it. Samuel, if the Chiefs don't get the first seed, which team would you feel most comfortable playing on the road and vice versa? What do you think, Dan?
Well, honestly, anybody but the Patriots. And that's just because there's a whole thing about Foxborough. The defense, I don't care so much about Mac Jones. Like, Mac Jones is fine. He's been fine. He is what he is. It's more about the aura around that place, around Gillette Stadium in the playoffs. I just don't want to deal with it. And it has, like I said, nothing to do with Mac Jones, a little bit to do with Bill Belichick, but more about the aura around that place. I don't anybody else on the road in the AFC, not scaring me.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I don't care about going into Buffalo. I mean, honestly, I don't care about going to Foxborough either. Like, they don't just want to make a big deal. They play 80s music. Well done. I could care less. So could anybody on the sidelines. So don't worry about it. But, at this point, I mean, and I thought the Ravens were going to give it away last night. So literally everybody is falling down in the AFC right now. And the Chiefs are one of the few teams that are on the rise. Even in the division, I'm just like, wow. Like, this is going to end well. What I was originally trepidatious about, having the AFC West games kind of stacked at the back. Like, now I'm pretty dang happy about it.
Yep.
Most surprising defensive turnaround.
It's funny you talk about that, because my film room on Wednesday is going to talk specifically about this exact topic. And as much as I'd love to answer your question right now, I don't want to give it all away, because it's going to be got some stats for you. I'm going to have some film for you, and we're going to have the whole shebang on Wednesday. So it's a great question. Unfortunately, I think we're going to have to wait a little bit, but I can probably go off of my main focus and give you another part. I think Charvarius Ward's play has been one of the more surprising parts, specifically because the offenses aren't challenging him across his face. They're just like, go out there and be on the outside and do some curl routes, go have some goes. Every once in a while, you'll come across the face, but everything else, he's been shutting down pretty consistently. So, and then obviously in the run game, he's always been a pretty good tackler. So I think his play coming back from that injury this season has been one of the more surprising parts.
Yeah, and I liked how consistent he's been, how solid he's been. Like, I don't think he's otherworldly. I think he's made an incremental improvement over his previous play, but that was always solid play. So that's good. I think the big difference for me in his play is that now he's getting his head around effectively and actually making plays on the ball. That's, like, quite honestly beyond what my expectation was for him.
I think he's had 2 or 3 pass breakups over the month, which is more than we could say over the course of his career. So, yeah.
Thank you, W. Dude, how are you? What do you think the future of our wide receiver group is going to look like with the coming seasons? Do we change anything with the style of player that we draft? No. They are going to continue, especially with Patrick. They're going to deal with everything they have to deal with this season, but as soon as the season's over, whether it's Super Bowl or wild card or wherever it happens, the next morning, the quote-unquote exit interview, it will be Mahomes to Veach. Get me more speed. Period.
I disagree with that.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
I do. Because I think they have plenty of speed on this team. This team specifically. They have a lot of speed, okay? And it's not working, okay? What they need to do is, if you want to open everything up, play Tyreek Hill way more in the slot. Have him be your slot receiver. Go draft a couple guys that can run some routes, some be on the outside. I think Byron Pringle will be back next year because he's going to be cheap. And honestly, they have no reason not to. He's one of the best blocking receivers in the NFL, and Andy Reid loves that kind of stuff. So I think he will be there. But I think everyone else is pretty much going to be gone. You're going to have Hardman because it's his last year of his contract. You still have the 2 speed guys with Pringle, who that makes a lot of speed already. I think you need to draft some guys that can run routes. And if you want to keep Tyreek Hill on the outside, okay, fine. Draft a slot player. Draft a guy that can just get open when he's asked to get open. Look at Hunter Renfrow on the Raiders. Dude just gets open.
It's quickness. It's short area burst.
That's it. I don't care. I don't need him to be a 4-5 or a 4-4 guy. I need him when it comes down to third down, and everyone's like, cover Tyreek Hill, cover Travis Kelce, get open. That's all I need. And I think that they're going to realize that they need a few of those guys combined with some speed and power on the outside, because we all know they're lacking that true X. I think that
Yeah.
Byron has done a good job of getting open when he's been asked to this season, and everyone for some reason didn't think he could, but he's been getting open. He's been getting open.
Well, let me be more specific. I think they want speed and X bodies.
Okay, see that yes, I understand. I get that. And I
Yeah.
think that will still be an area they choose, but they passed on some guys in this draft that had speed and the possibility of an X. So maybe
Yeah.
we'll see. I think that Powell might have something to say about it as in terms of a slot type of power,
Uh-huh.
a power slot guy going forward. So we'll see.
Yeah, I like that concept. The thing that McColl doesn't have is he is just speed. And
Mhm.
that's the difference. Is I think they want size and speed together for the outside. And quite frankly, one guy to keep an eye on is Justin Ross, folks. He's been hurt. He's had a terrible quarterback. It's been tough for him. He's going to be a value in this draft, I'm pretty certain. And you never know. If as long as he can stay healthy, that'll be the big question.
Yeah,
I think he can get down the field. You're not so sure?
I've been looking at some of his tape already. I've gotten
Yep.
into a little bit, and whether it's the offense not using him properly or him just not being interested in this offense, he does not look the same as it was before
Not
the
at all.
injury, which is a problem for me.
It's not a problem for me because I think it is all about the offense and the lack of quarterback play. But
And again, we'll have to wait and see, because it's a crapshoot.
yeah,
It's just a
third,
crapshoot.
fourth round pick, I have no problem with. If you're talking about
No.
a first round pick, then I have a serious problem with
I
it.
think he goes in the second, though.
You do? Okay.
I do.
I think the teams are going to be a little scared off because of the medical, but hey,
Will depend
we
on
can
how he
always hope.
tests. Yeah.
Holly, I'm glad you enjoyed the interview. Great dude, super friendly. It's just about finding time with him. And so hopefully at another point, we'll definitely get him back. I just want to know, is that
What is that?
Tom on your new avatar there? I'm not sure what he's doing on his head there, but hey, Tom's a great guy too. Thank you for making that suggestion. It really worked out well with us. And I'll tell you this, you guys ever see me in something like that on a field, I won't be wearing a jersey. I'll probably be in a suit trying to get a job. So
Yep.
that'll be the way that works. Alex, how are you? Would you enjoy watching a Super Bowl rematch between Mahomes and Brady's? Absolutely.
Would. I think that this offensive line gives him the opportunity to take that rematch full steam ahead.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. Jacoby, regardless of the draft number the Chiefs finish at, what are your preferred draft order in terms of positions? As in biggest needs. Uh-oh. Dan, take this one. I'm going to have to take
All
this
right. I was about to say, so for the first part of this question, I think regardless of where, unfortunately, you don't have the benefit of getting that type of, it doesn't matter where, because you can't just take guys where you want to. So I'm just going to say where I think they need to go first, and we'll have to wait and see how it goes throughout the first round. I think edge rusher is going to be their number one need this offseason. I don't believe Frank Clark will be back. I think you're still going to have to find ways to get Chris Jones to play on the inside, not on the outside. So you're going to have to find ways to facilitate that, whether it's bringing in free agents or more than drafting guys at the top. Secondly, I do think that corner is going to be a need. I'm very hesitant to think that Deandre Baker was going to be much. We were very confident, but it looks like he's not coming back from that injury the same as we had all anticipated. He was playing early in the season. I thought he looked pretty good. He moved pretty well, and now we're seeing him be inactive. So that's a concern for me. I don't think Trevor Ward will be here. So yeah, I think that corner is another big need for them, and then wide receiver in that order: defensive end, corner, wide receiver.
Okay. So depth linebacker or free agent linebacker or something like that to be the third?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I like it.
I just
Jacoby, like your avatar there, bud.
That's pretty cool.
Patrick, welcome back. Glad you're here. AP, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate your support as always. Love hearing the commercial on 98.9. Is this the best week of the season? Nice and late. And all the three faces are starting to come together to a gelling point. I like that part. Not sure which commercial. Maybe you mean the Locked On Chiefs one. Yeah, it's been spreading around town, as I understand. So, best week of the offseason, certainly for the players. I mean, if you guys haven't seen the piece with Mike, you can like tell how noticeably relaxed and happy he is to be off for a week. They need it. I mean, health-wise. I think that's probably because they haven't had the drastic injury load. I feel like the wear and tear, like the fatigue of the season is kind of underrated for this team in where they are right now.
Yeah, I agree. Especially, I think coming off that month of winning after you struggled out the gate, you get some time to just kind of like take in. Okay, finally we can rest a little bit. No one's down our backs right now. Like they can just kind of rest a little bit. And unfortunately, I do think that Kyle Long is not going to be activated off the injured reserve. I think he's going to be done for the season.
Yeah.
Or we would have heard something by now, guys. I know that they said that they were going to make their decision today. It's the very last day. That tells me he's not ready. He's not going to be ready. So,
or they had a late check and we won't actually know till tomorrow is my guess.
Yeah, my guess too. But I think it's gonna come down the pipe as he's done for the rest of the season.
That's my thought as well. I will tell you this too, AP. The three faces coming together. Everybody's playing well, and they got a bump on the special teams today because Marcus Kemp is back from the COVID list. So he and Mike Burton talks about him and the two guys leading the special teams groups. That's pretty important, and it's something, especially right now, when even though the Chiefs are winning again, they're still not getting those explosive drives, and they are punting more than they have in any of the years past. Like that becomes more and more important. On season where Tommy makes like one punt a game, then it's not as critical, but now it certainly is.
And he's been one of the best punters in the NFL this year, in my opinion.
He's the best throwing punter, I'll tell you that.
That is for sure.
Xanax, hope you're doing well. Questions for all of us. What do we do after the draft? I'm leaning linebacker depth, but Ryan, I'm hearing wide receivers is juicy this year. I'll stop there. It needs to be a hot topic. I like it. I like the wide receiver class as well. I don't think it's quite as deep as last season draft group, but I think there's some interesting choices. And I think, honestly, for the Chiefs, needing an X that might be able to do a little bit more than just be a big body catch point receiver, I think that there's some interesting options. It's just, if quality, in my opinion, you probably got to be in the top 50 picks for a wide receiver.
Yep, that's how it's going to be. And again, we talked about this in the last question about the draft. It's going to depend on the board because obviously I think defensive end is the most important. But if there's not a guy you value in the first round there, then you can start looking at a Drake London, possibly. I'm a big Drake London guy. I really like both. Him.
Let's hope that injury pushes him into the second.
Please. I think he could legitimately not only be an X, but a guy who can play everywhere, play the Z. He can play a bit in the slot and give you that versatility because I like some of his ability to run routes. It's not just a guy like Pittman out of USC a few years ago. I see him as a vertical guy. That's pretty much all I see out of him. He runs a drag every now and then, but I don't see him as a guy who can be multifaceted. I think Drake London is him plus more speed and better and all of those other facets. So, yeah, that would be ideal for me. So, yeah.
I had Pittman as a guy that could do it all in college. I was about a round and a half higher than everybody on him. And it's taken him a while. Like you said, it isn't quite natural for him, but he's coming around and that skill set's developing. Yep. London's light years ahead of where he was. And if there's that much upside, that's going to be the question, is how much upside is still in his game. But the prospects of having that kid around is intriguing, to say the least. Thank you. And Brother Rick, thank you. In my opinion, it really doesn't matter whether or not the Chiefs get the number one seed. They play just as well, if not better, on the road. That part's true, but everything changes in January.
Yeah.
That's I think that's a taller hill to climb. And quite frankly, if you get a good crowd, Buffalo's a decent crowd, but they're not deafening. Foxborough has tendency to get pretty loud, especially in the cold.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, so I can see that. If you get that and terrible temperatures, it makes things a little bit harder. But you're right. Chiefs play outdoors all the time. It doesn't matter. They're going to be cold whether they're away or at home.
Correct.
So it's just about concentration. Thank you, Rick. We appreciate your support.
Appreciate you, man.
Andy, name the two most important re-signings for the Chiefs, one offensive and one defensive.
So
most important.
Do the Chiefs even have an important re-signing on defense? I think most everyone's under contract.
You kind of already touched on one that could be.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Well, hit the offense first.
I think Orlando Brown is probably the most important situation that they have to deal with on offense because left tackle. I mean, he's your left tackle or he's not your left tackle, and you got to figure that out. But I do think he's going to be their left tackle.
I agree. Question is how many dollars?
Yeah, it's going to be about his contract. How much is he going to be worth? And if he's keeps playing like this and the offense finally gets that chemistry down, he's going to be a big number guy. That's just let's face it. That's who it was. And I don't know on defense, to be honest. I don't.
You don't think Tyron's that important at this point? You think that it's time?
I don't necessarily think it's time. I assume it's a given. That maybe that's my thing. I think it's a given that he's going to be a Chief and probably retire as a Chief, if not. So maybe that's my own thing getting in the way, because I think that it's almost pretty much just kind of shut and closed.
Let me put it to you this way then. If it's not Tyron and that's in the bag, I think we know how you feel about Ward. You can probably let him walk if you get enough talent in the draft. Is that where you're coming from?
I feel like that.
All right. So then that brings us to you can't have Frank.
I got it.
Can cut him and re-sign him, but two of the other guys on the front four right now are free agents.
Yeah, give me Derek Nottie back.
Yeah,
do it in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, because he's so invaluable to this team, and people just continuously don't talk about it, but he's so valuable to what they do up front.
He's a Dan Salamuya of this defense. He'll give you a sparky play every now and then, but he's solid. He's in the middle, and he does what he's supposed to do. Outside of the struggles, beyond the obvious answer, what or who is the biggest disappointment for you around the NFL, or who or what is the biggest surprise? I mean, around the NFL, I'm surprised the Steelers are as bad as they are. Tell you the truth. No? Okay. No. I thought they'd struggle at the quarterback position. They'd be able to kind of pull it up by its bootstraps around him, but no.
No, they're terrible. I mean, I think everyone's getting more injured this year. I think I would have had the Browns much better, but they're just so torn up from injuries on offense. They've been dealing with some on defense. I think, look at the Titans. They're just as injured as anybody in the NFL. Like, their entire offense is made up of practice squad guys. Their defense in the back end is made up of practice squad guys. Like, it's this year's been one of the more unpredicted things. And I think that the Packers are way better than I thought they were. Like, way better.
See that. Yeah. I think the thing that is surprising me is that Sean McDermott is struggling way more than I expected him to, especially the quarterback that should be more in his wheelhouse. Does he get it turned around? We'll see. Adam, if we went out, do you see teams in the AFC lose enough for us to be the number one seed? Absolutely. Yeah, the Ravens tried to do it for you last night. So
yeah, they did. They were like, "Hey, we're literally trying to give this game away," and Baker Mayfield's like, "I'm too hurt, and I don't know how to run the ball with this team and throw it."
My hands won't grab it. I want to grab it, but it won't do it.
I got the Big Mac, this Whopper, and it's too big for me.
Right? I can't get too bad.
That was the weirdest game I've ever seen.
But yes, Adam, if they can win out, I expect them to be the one seed, because I think everyone else will have another misstep or three. Night Hunter
will challenge them, but we'll see.
I'm not so sure. We'll see. With Gay and Bolton playing like season pros, do we draft an LB or go after one in free agent? Yes and yes.
Yeah, I think both.
Go ahead.
No, so I'm more interested in taking an athlete later in the draft. Like, depending on how the board falls. Like, obviously, we talk about this all the time. If he's there in the third round and you got nobody else on your board, you can take a linebacker there in the third. But I think you're going to see probably in the fourth, fifth round, and then take some shots on some linebackers that just have some athletic upside. Specifically, there was a guy out of Purdue this past year, Derek Barnes, who was playing legit snaps for the Lions until he got hurt. I think Baron Browning has been excellent for the Broncos. Like, there's been some really good value linebacker picks that have played some pretty key snaps this year as rookies, and you're not necessarily asking them to do that. So,
yeah. I'll give you guys a name, Chris Muma from Wyoming. Keep an eye on him. Should be an early day 3 guy. Very athletic, good size.
Love it.
They also need a veteran in the room.
Yes, they do.
You can't have him be the leader. You can't have him be a $12 million a year guy. But you need somebody there with a steadier hand who's been there, done that. And like you said, they're playing like season pros, but they're not.
No.
There's plenty of things neither Gay or Bolton have even come close to seeing yet. And that's going to play a large part into the deal with them. Let's see. Alex, how likely is EB to be the Chiefs head coach when Andy retires? Who will he do a good job as a head coach? I don't think he's likely at all, and I think he will be a decent head coach.
Yeah, it's going to be about where he goes. Okay. That's what's going to decide how good he ends up being as a head coach. Because I think that he's going to be the same no matter where he goes. But what happens if he ends up in Houston or because with the Jets? Because let's face it, Robert Saleh is not doing much over there. He might get fired after next year, or maybe even after this year. You never know. Head coaches get laid off all the time, so I think it really depends on where he goes. But yeah, he's not going to be in Kansas City until by the time Andy Reid retires.
Yeah. Chandler, Jared, I appreciate that. Chandler Jones is a guy that I think they could go after in the offseason because I do think he will be a complete free agent and does want to relocate. Yeah. Hassan Reddick doesn't fit this defense. He's a small 3-4 outbacker type rusher, not really what they're looking for. And Mechie, I think, also will fall, but I don't think he's going to fall that far. I think he'll go before Ross does, but we'll just have to see where that area is.
It's going to be interesting.
WW, do you think that Hill and Kelsey will eat against Denver? And if not, who is it on the Broncos that will throw a kibosh into the punch bowl? It all depends on how they approach it. Now, Fangio is good. The secondary is solid. It's about the pass rush. Can they handle Chubb being back? I know everybody likes Malik Reed. I'm not that impressed, but he's a solid bookend. They control the ends. I think Patrick has time. And then I do think it will be Kelsey in the middle because I think the linebackers and the strong safety types are the weaker parts. I think Simmons is good over the top. So I think they're going to just lock him up on Tyreek, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I think that they're going to play much like they did against the Cowboys. They're going to play back. Like they're going to play. They're not going to blitz. They're just going to rely on their front four. And it's going to be, again, come down to it. Who gets open in the middle of the field? I think they need to use Tyreek Hill more in the slot role and get him open over the middle of the field. Use McCole Hardman on some drag routes. He's had a couple of them where he's just gotten open. Use them more. Like, I just don't get why they don't. So I think that Andy Reid's going to have a solid game plan coming out of the bye, but it's all about Travis Kelce is going to, I think he's going to have himself a nice day against Denver.
I kind of think that too. Priest Mahomes, I like your name.
I like it, but
and I'll tell you this, there's always a chance.
No.
It will require an epic trade, like more than it required to get Mahomes, is my thought. Yes. Because I actually, right now, as of this week, I have Hutchinson as my number one edge.
He's going to go in the top 3. I'm telling you right now.
You think it's that high? You do think
I think he has a very good chance to go as the number 1 overall pick to the Detroit Lions. I do. And that's only because of the way that he finished the season. I think Thibodeau might be the overall better player, but I think that Hutchinson has been not only just everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
He just had the biggest game of his career against Ohio State in the biggest game of their career. If he plays like the same way in the Big Ten championship game, and then wherever, if they end up going to the playoff, yes, I do think he might solidify himself as the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah. He passed Thibodeau for number 1 edge for me. I think it is. I agree with you completely. And scouts take this into account all the time. How do you play against your best competition? His best game of his life against his highest competition.
I watched it from bookend. He was incredible.
Yeah. 15 pressures in the snow against a college playoff team.
Yes.
Or what used to be out anyway.
Yeah. And one of the better tackles in the NFL. I mean, in college football too. Like, he wasn't just lining up against the other defensive tackle. He was going against their best tackle. It just,
I like it. I like his game. Yeah. And I honestly feel he has more upside than Thibodeau does.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. Adam, thank you very much. Tom Davis, thank you very much. Do you think that Pat and our offense can get back to normal consistency like our defense, or are we stuck with them up and down week to week to frustration? I think the mercury in that thermometer is Patrick Mahomes. And it's all on him. If he has a nice week at home, baby sleeping through the night, and he's calm and collected and has the patience, all good. But if he doesn't, man, it's the slightest thing that makes Patrick focus on downfield that takes away from the rest.
I don't necessarily think that Andy's helping him out that much either. I think that he can do more, calling some more slants.
I wonder, and we're not going to give this away, folks. The 300 or 400 of us that are in here, we'll just keep this between ourselves. I feel like Andy might have called more of the plays against the Raiders. And maybe EB's calling more pre, and it looked like post. I don't know. If that's the case, then that handoff has to be a little less blatant, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, but again, we're just kind of throwing shots in the dark. You'll never find out. You'll never know. I just think that the Raiders literally said, Gus Bradley, I'm going to do what I do, and I'm not going to come out of it. And they didn't.
I'll bet you he does it again.
I'll bet you he does too, because he just doesn't care. No. And I don't think the Raiders do. But again, I would like to see some more posts, some deep posts too, not just in some deep crossing action, because that's you test the defense's communication abilities when you put some deep crossers behind the linebackers in front of those safeties. You test the communication. If they don't have the proper communication, you're going to find some deep crossers over the middle of the field. Byron Pringle, come on down.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And there are other teams that will miscommunicate. So yes. And if they do that and Patrick stays patient, Tom, that's when he'll have those opportunities to hit those big plays. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Thank you for the support, Tom. We appreciate it. That was a nice one. Pie Dessert, how are you? It's clear we play non-division opponents in neutral. I expect us to open up the bag over the next few weeks. What say you? We're running the table the rest of the way. I think they can run it the rest of the way. I'm not sure they open the bag all the way, though.
I don't think Andy Reid will ever open the bag up in the season like all the way. He's never going to be like, yeah, just throw it out there. Because, I mean, I know they have a ton of stuff, but he doesn't ever want to like dig into it in the regular season.
Yeah. Thank you, Gooch. Appreciate it. Glad you guys enjoyed the Burton piece.
Awesome.
The second piece of it, I put the bulk of it here. Like we had, I think, like 28 minutes. You guys got 16 or 17 of it. There's 10 that's on Locked On Chiefs tomorrow. That's the other piece. But I want to put the juicy bits on here. How we call that?
The juicy.
See what I did there,
Gooch?
Any truth rumors that another fan guest on the huddle? Ooh, I like that.
Ooh,
all right. You're gonna have to let me know, folks. The huddle, the Roguehead Huddle show with Stevie and Gooch is on Fridays. Check that out. And it looks like, Gooch, you tell me if I can drop the bag. Well, never mind. I'm dropping the bag. Looks like you're gonna get a Roguehead, a Rogue Life tonight. Gooch solo. Gooch at night. Not safe for work. Just saying. Don, how are you? What's more likely, drafting Jameson Williams or Drake London knowing the Chiefs?
The answer to your question is Jameson Williams, because it's Kansas City and because we have history to say that they don't necessarily care about Drake London's frame, ability to do everything at the catch point. So historically speaking, it's Jameson Williams. If they've learned anything over the last couple of seasons, it should be Drake London, but we'll see.
I refer you to my first answer tonight. Yes. Xanax, glad you like that. I appreciate it. Again, couldn't do it without Mike's cooperation. He's been super cool, and I think you guys will see him again too. Gooch, another one. There is truth. Who could it be? I think you guys are doing a good job, like stringing us along. And I know Dan knows by now because I'm like 17 hours behind in the chat, or a good 20 minutes anyway. When does RGR Crew Cookbook come out? Ooh, we should do that.
We should do that.
We should self-publish a cookbook. You know what, folks? Christmas 2022. Look for the RGR Crew.
We will do it. We'll do it.
Dang, that's a great idea. Oh, I love that. Okay, we're on it. Sean, if and when Kyle Long is out of the active roster, do you think who do you think gets released to make room for him? And do you think their expectations are too high for him? Yes, expectations are high. No, I don't think he is getting activated. Right now, they have at least one open slot, so nobody has to get cut.
Yeah, that's just how it is. It's unfortunate. Injuries, but that was always a long shot with the guy who retired and then came out of retirement. I mean,
yeah,
you can feel good as much as you want to, but your body does not want you to do stuff he doesn't want you to do.
Guys, if you want to check that out, hit the Locked On Locked On Chiefs show. You can hit the draft show too if you like. We're on YouTube as well, but that's a whole different thing. I'll be recording that here at the top of the hour with Eric Crocker. You can check that out. Thank you, Aaron. Holly, thank you as always. Appreciate it. It is Tom. And last night on SNL live stream, mispronouncing his last name came up. Oh, did I do it? See, I'm not doing that. No. And then photoshopped a beret on and a mustache on him. Okay. Okay. With a French accent. I can't do that. See, it's not how I can get there.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm terrible. Oh, I'm terrible at accents.
So am I. Don't worry. Right there with you.
Are Creed and Trey all pros?
Trey Smith is not an All-Pro.
No.
I don't. People aren't going to like this. I don't think he's a Pro Bowl player either. Creed Humphrey is an All-Pro right now. Yes.
I have a tendency to think that he won't make the All-Pro because I don't think the
Probably
voters will
won't
go for him.
because he's a rookie. But
Right.
as a player,
yes, yeah, he's playing
an
at that
All-Pro.
level for certain.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's going to get the nod over some of the veterans.
Well, we'll see. I'm hoping so, but we'll see.
The spotlight comes, especially down the stretch here. If they continue to make that smash forward, I think that can win some of the voters over. You guys want to start talking about it? Start hitting up Charles Robinson. He's one of them.
Yep. Do it.
Kids, Carlisle, any thoughts on K-State's DB Stubblefield? Haven't watched
him. Sorry, guys. I know that we're going to get a lot of questions over the last couple months here about draft players. I'm going to start doing more watching. I just watched Andrew Booth out of Clemson, as well as Justin Ross. Like, they were just at the same clips I got. So I've got those two already watched. I'm done for right now. I'll get to more film on Ross when I get it. But Booth is a guy that I like as a possibility on day one at the end of the first round.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And I think he has upside over some of the guys that might go in front of him, to tell you the truth.
Dude's physical.
He's for Sears.
He does not care about coming down and run support. He will do whatever he has to do.
He's built like Snead to me, but he plays like Fenton.
Yeah, that's beautiful. He's thinner, but she doesn't act like it. Dude's physical. I love it.
Yeah, it's good. Benjamin, thank you. I think Pat will find the medium between taking those pops
let's hope so.
And really keeping it controlled, and the Chiefs will be better for it. Will Chiefs keep Tommy Townsend, or will he be looking for another team? He's under contract for like 2 or 3 more years, so it's not.
And I think he's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs punter for his career. I think he'll make it a career in Kansas City.
He's guaranteed 3 passes a year, and he knows he can complete them all. He's not going anywhere. Thank you, Chris. We appreciate you. Love the show. Keep up the great content. We definitely will. We'll have a couple of tweaks. Yeah, exactly. We're keeping our heads above water. That's what we're doing. And a big shout out to Stevie and Gooch and Aaron and the rest of the crew.
Very much.
You get members content from them, folks. If you want to become a member, there's a join button underneath Dan. If you're on mobile, it's right next to the RGR logo. And you can see Aaron and the crew make their picks. You can see my rants that I'm trying to get back to doing weekly, just so you get the real truth, the core stuff, as well as all the extra videos that we put out for them. So it's worth your time. You just got to be a rookie or above. And the biggest perk, the most recent perk, is the one that Frankie, Aaron, Stevie, and Gooch set up. It's not the Substack. You can do that on Thursday if you want.
I was about to say.
It's the Discord, and you can get into it by emailing me here at rgrpodcast@gmail. I need your actual name that's on YouTube when you make a comment, and then I can get you an invite. It is invite only for only the members at rookie and above. Let's see. Gold Towel, how are you? If we could get a player from any team in free agency, who would you who we could realistically get? Who should we target? I haven't even looked at the free agent class yet.
I don't know. There's a couple guys off the top of my head that he's not going to realistically go anywhere. Devontae Adams is a free agent. He's not going to probably leave Green Bay. I think Allen Robinson is a free agent, but there's just a couple guys off the top of my head that are free agents that I know of, but I haven't seen a list yet.
Gotcha. Okay, let's see. Oh, I missed a couple. Looks like I missed a couple.
Uh-oh. We should probably speed up a little bit.
Yeah, probably can. I'm running behind. All right. The chat skipped for me, folks, so I'm now a little bit more caught up, but I missed a couple of things. So from Stevie. Oh, wait, nope. There it is. Okay, good. Josh, how does the eligibility mess affect your evaluation of prospects this year? Do you think that some super seniors who once didn't have much value raised their stock and so on? I think it's a case-by-case basis, but I think there are some 6-year seniors that definitely did. Corral's one of them, isn't he?
I don't think he's a 6-year senior.
Or was it Pickett?
I think Pickett's is the elder statesman on the group of the quarterbacks who has drastically improved his draft stock because he's going to probably be a first rounder.
Yeah, I think it's him and Corral for number 1, don't you?
Oh man, I don't know at this point. They're not very good.
No, I don't mean overall. I just mean top
Oh,
QB.
as quarterbacks, yeah, I think he and Corral are probably the two guys, but you're gonna find some teams throw Malik Willis up there, some guys that have athletic upsides with arm talent, just to try to do what they did with Trey Lance, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you. Sorry, you guys, with the skipping of the thing. If you put a question in there, come back around to me and I'll try to hit it here now as we speed through them. Stevie, thank you. Shout out to all the international rogues and roguettes as part of the Chiefs channel and Chiefs Kingdom. All of you in the UK, all of you in Ireland. I see all you guys in Germany. If you're deployed out there, A, thank you. And B, I hope that we help you get through your week. I get some strange ones too. I see y'all. I know that some of you guys are stationed in Thailand. I see y'all at Guam, so I appreciate that very much. It comes in the analytics, and it's fun to see. Henry Tutu. I don't even know how to pronounce his name correctly. Neither is any announcer that I've heard yet. So I will, madman. I will try to keep it under wraps there. Solid. I don't think he's a top prospect. I think it's going to be Lloyd and it's going to be Dean in whatever order evaluates out. Yep. I'm not sure yet, but I think Henry's a day two guy. I just don't know where yet. I have not been able to watch a lot of Alabama live, so it is going to be about the film for me. We'll go there, and there's one for Dan.
Yes.
Thank you, Gold Towel.
Finally.
Why did that rash of turnovers happen? Can the coaches do a fix? What can they do to fix that kind of thing? Quite frankly, it was a lot of decision making by Patrick that was the problem.
That and bad luck.
Some of it, yeah. I feel more like on the running backs, bad luck. I feel like the wide receivers aren't concentrating enough. They need to fix their pass catching. Patrick needs to not throw it up when he's about to be sacked. Yeah. I think the luck was mostly on the RBs.
Yeah, but we're talking about even with the concentration of the catches, how often do those just go into the dirt 90% of the time? They deflected right up into the air, and there was somebody right there every time. Like that's just bad luck. Like some of it's just bad.
It's definitely a factor, and it just has amped up this year for some reason. Sean Priggle's going to break out in the second half, do you think? And apologies, somebody already asked that. Yeah. What do you think, Dan? Is it really going to happen? I know we both want it to.
We want it to, but it's not going to. He's not going to get the targets. Like he needs. I believe that Byron Pringle needs 5 to 6 targets a game at minimum, because we've seen the special playmaking ability. We've seen. I watched him against the Cowboys just get open all the time. Just be open on a couple different, like he obviously he had the great drawn up concept where it was just him for that over route where he got wide open. He was free for a touchdown a couple different times. Like he was just open, and he's just not getting the targets. So I don't think he's going to keep getting the targets unless he gets them. He's just going to be what it is, and it's really unfortunate.
It is. Let's hope that something clicks. We can always hope. Flapjack, you're right. Thank you for the super chat. Glad you enjoy the show. We love you back. And hey, Dallas is on a slide, right?
Yeah, they called it.
Gary Holland, OG around this channel, one of the originals. How do you feel about the Chiefs doing against the Bengals right now? The Bengals don't scare me. I know they played better this last week, but smashing Pittsburgh does not make me scared for the Kansas City Chiefs.
No, it's going to come down to how they play defense, because I think that their offense weirdly matches up well with this defense right now. I'm not that worried about it. I think you're going to get a spare Jamar Chase play every now and then, but they don't scare me offensively as much as they've shown to score on people. It's all about how they play defense.
Yeah, I'm with you. How about the other edge from Michigan? Is it Adejo? Is that how you say it?
Ojabo, David Ojabo. So he's right now. It's been reported that he's going back to Michigan next year. That's, I think, going to change over the course of the next couple of games that Michigan plays. Specifically, if he keeps getting pressures and sacks, I think the allure of going in the first round is going to probably bring him out of college, unless he wants to try to become the top edge next year. Maybe that's what right now he's trying to decide, if he wants to go the first round or wants to be the first edge selected in the draft, which next year he might be.
I'm not sure he goes in the first round. I got to tell you.
But that's the thing. Like it's all, I think that he's become on the verge of being a first round draft pick right
now. Yeah. Top 50 for me easily. Yeah. But I think still there's a drastic difference between him and Hutchinson.
I think people like to see, Owe this year as being an extremely raw athletic player that is now it's
Working
clear that
out.
the pressures are working out, and they see Ojabo as this guy who's got a lot of speed. He doesn't have all the technical aspects figured out yet, but when he does, it comes and it shows. So I think that there's kind of like, oh, I see a shiny toy and I want it. I think that's what they're looking at right now.
It's like Chiefs with a speed receiver.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Yeah. Cheeseball, did Cleveland put out a bunch of Sorensen clones during the Mark Andrews draft? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like I said, they were trying to give it away. Jeremy, how high do you guys have Jordan Davis? I'm sure top 10.
I'll never draft a defensive tackle in the top 10, but Jordan Davis is a top 15 player for me this year.
I agree.
How good he is.
I wouldn't do it either, but you guys, if you go back and you listen to last Thursday and Friday's NFL Draft show, Locked On NFL Draft, you can find it here as well. I put it to some of those guys. I was like, if you're needy at that position and you have a quarterback,
what do you do?
You got to consider it at least.
Yeah.
Because, and this is what I said, you guys would love this. And I hope that you guys do go check out that show. I was like, so you need a run stuffer. You need somebody that eats double teams. You need a pass rusher. And then, hey, you need a fullback at goal line. You got one guy.
He's so athletic.
He's incredible.
He is the most impressive specimen I think I've ever seen for his size. How he can move. I was watching it last year too. Like, this dude is incredible.
Yeah. Rick, I understand that you want him to look for the underneath routes more. If it's there, he's got to take it. Yes. But the fault is mostly Patrick's. At the end of the day, he's a Ferrari, and you can take a couple of cylinders out of that engine, take the seals off, and it won't run very well. At the end of the day, it still wants to run. Yeah. It wants to be a thoroughbred. And I don't think even Andy can take that out of him.
Nope, and they won't. I don't think that they necessarily have to. They just have to incorporate more actual slants and some digs and some more corner routes, things to use some of the deep parts of his game, but also get open.
And he's gone away from some route combinations that work against the coverage they seem because they're old, and he wants to keep everything new, and he doesn't like going back to what's tried and true and works. Sometimes you got to do that though, especially when your creative aspects aren't working. So is what it is. Again, if you guys would hit rgrpodcast@gmail.com, if you do become a member and you're a rookie or above and you want in the Discord, that's where Aaron and Stevie and Gooch rule the roost. And I show up every now and then, but it is just RGR members. It is exclusive to us. You know, you can go in there and talk reality and not get confronted with a bunch of fanboys or a bunch of trolls, that kind of thing. It's a great community that the guys have built, and I'm just part of it. So it's great. Big. I really hate Fortson got hurt, but do you think he would have opened up the offense more? I think he started to, and I think it would have just continued.
He was the only guy that Patrick felt comfortable throwing a 50-50 ball to. Like that was it. And he showed it. And I think that was making him more comfortable. It was giving them more options in the offense. And I think he'd have 5, 6, 7 touchdowns right now if he was still healthy. And it makes me sick because he was having a nice coming out party.
Yeah, I agree. Jake, thank you for the super chat. Is Josh Gordon being saved for the postseason like Tampa with Gronk? I don't think so. I think it may work out that way that it all clicks in the postseason, but I don't think it's like a deliberate hold on, let's not give it away yet. So
I feel the same way.
It is what it is. Let's see. Questions. Glad Xanax. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Frankie, as always, thank you for helping us out. And I did get your email. We'll talk with Aaron about some of that. I see one comment that is going to get banned right now. Hold on.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's just somebody trying to stir up stuff we don't need.
Yep.
Lego. When will the RGR barbecue sauce collection hit the market? Quite frankly, I do have a concept for that because there is a company in Kansas City that is possibly going to start making some of a recipe for a friend of mine who competes barbecue and might be able to get us a version in there. You never know. I don't know. I'll tell you this. He can only refer to me as football ginger. So I'm guessing there'll be ginger in the sauce is all I'm going to say. Julian's back. How are you, Julian?
What's going on, man?
Glad to see you. I think next year we should go LB and DE with our first 2 picks, solidify the front 7, double dip in the later rounds for a player named Perry and Winfrey, who I have seen, a versatile D lineman. I haven't done film on it, but I like it. I mean, there's other fish to fry too, though. They're going to be, I think, short at corner. Like Dan said earlier, that's going to be a little bit of a concern.
I also don't see him take a linebacker in the first 2 rounds 3 years in a row.
That's probably a stretch as well. You never know, though. If you get the talent, and then that's just the way that it is. I think the other big concern for me is if you don't resign Tyron.
Yeah.
Armani's out of a contract. Sorensen's out of a contract. It's just Juan right now. And Zane Anderson on the practice squad. So, like, you got to rebuild that position if that's what happens. And there are some decent options in this draft, I think. Ben, has Creed turned out to be a better center than Landon Dickerson out of Alabama? So far, yes.
I mean, he hasn't played center for the Eagles. He's played guard. So it's hard to say yet. I mean, it's not that hard, in my opinion. Creed's been way better than I thought he was going to be coming out as a rookie. So, yeah, I think you can project it better. Landon's been looking very good as a guard recently, though. He's definitely getting healthy, and it's showing.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with him. Alan, why is college football more enjoyable, I'm guessing you're saying?
I would
to
imagine.
watch than the professionals seems like more free-flowing to me. Yeah, I think people enjoy that part of it. It's a little bit more, like, unexpected. I don't enjoy watching college football. I enjoy coaching college football. I like being there in person, but I watch the pros for a reason.
Yeah, I love watching both college football and the NFL for different reasons, just because college is more of that. They play not just, for money. Now they're getting more actual money, but it's always been that pride thing. And growing up in Michigan, it wasn't exactly much of a choice to not watch college football. So you have to really get with it. But I've always loved it. I prefer like college basketball to NBA a lot. Like I would rather watch that than the NBA. So
it's exactly the same way. I like defense at both levels. They play it in the pros in the NFL. And they play it in college in basketball. So
yes, they do. Love it.
Josh, you're not the first person to mention Batty to me. I'm perfectly fine to look at it. I will tell you guys, just like every year, running back will be the last position that I watch film at. I don't care. I'll pick one up as a free agent after the draft. I won't draft another one, especially as long as Clyde's on the roster, if it's me.
Yeah, I think Batty's going to be one of those guys that maybe goes day 3 that ends up being a workhorse back, somebody maybe for 2, 3, 4 years. But he's not somebody that I'm circling on a chart and saying I'm going to get this guy.
Yeah.
Just because running backs are running backs. And unless you're one of the special ones, I'm probably just going to say, okay, UDFA, like you said, UDFA.
Yeah. Jeffrey, I don't know what's going on with the play call or how Andy's health is. I will tell you this. He looks noticeably wore down since before the Super Bowl years. So I don't know. We'll just have to play it by ear and see what we find out when we find out. Trish, thank you. We hope that he will be. I think the extra time in the bye week should have helped. We're just going to have to find out. We should get an announcement on Wednesday. Kevin, will we see Gordon down the stretch? He's a hell of a player in Cleveland. Why can't he get going at all? I think it's just about adjusting to the offense, earning the trust of the quarterback.
It's Father Time, too. He doesn't have it what he used to have. He is not that player anymore by a large margin. He can still do some things, but he is no longer the Josh Gordon of Cleveland where he was setting records and doing crazy stuff.
Yeah, agreed. Holly, thank you as always. Another super chat. Appreciate it. If I had a crystal ball, how would you predict the AFC West rankings pan out at the end of the regular season? Exactly how I thought they'd pan out at the beginning of the regular season. Chiefs on top, Chargers behind them, Raiders, Broncos finish last.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I think it's going to go. I think you might flip-flop the Raiders and the Broncos depending on what happens. But, I mean, Teddy Bridgewater is literally the worst quarterback in the division by a large margin, in my opinion. And that's how it's going to pan out.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I haven't been right on like my Super Bowl predictions, or especially in the NFC, I've been way off. But my AFC West has been pretty much coming together exactly as I saw it. Benjamin, I think I answered that one. I know you put it in again. Thank you. Does the Chiefs have a chance to get home field advantage? Do you see them being at least a 3 seed? I mean, you need Tennessee to lose. You need Buffalo to lose. Both those things are certain possibilities. Could lose this week.
Yep.
is even if the Baltimore Ravens, when they make their next loss, if the Chiefs have the same record with them, they actually have the tiebreak over the Ravens. One of the only teams that they have the tiebreak win over. So
No, they
I
don't.
do.
They lost to Baltimore.
No, I thought
They lost to Baltimore.
I'm confusing my years then. So never mind. So they need a tiebreak. But I think even what you saw last night, they could easily lose 2-3 games. Whereas I think the Chiefs have a hurdle to get over here that's like a realistic threat.
Yep, we'll find out.
I wonder if we think it's the same one. Do you think the Bengals are for real?
I don't know.
No.
Who's
Okay.
for real this year?
Right.
Who in the AFC is for real? Nobody. Except for maybe the Chiefs and the Patriots. I think those are the two best bets right now in the AFC.
Yeah, fair enough. Thank you, Southern Belle.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
the support. I'll look for something here. You did say, I hope you had one as well. I'm glad everybody's back. Doing well. Take this one. I got to double check myself on something.
Thank you, Scott. Hi, Dan. Who's going to be the high impact player off the practice squad the rest of the way? Nobody. Nobody's coming off the practice squad to make an impact on this team, unfortunately. That's just the way the cookie is going to crumble. I would love to see Powell come up, but they're not going to do that. And I don't think that they think he's ready. I don't think that any of the other wide receivers are ready. There's no one down there that's going to come up and make an impact unless injuries happen at running back and then maybe Gore. But that's all I can. That's all I can speak to right now.
Okay, so I was not only wrong on Baltimore, I kept thinking they had the Patriots on the schedule later. They do not.
Yeah, no, they don't.
So that won't come to a head until the offseason. To'o. 2-0? Thank you, Julian. I will figure that out eventually. I'll try to remember that as well. I appreciate the help, though. God knows I need it. Dan, who's going to be the high impact player off the? Oh, we just answered
Just
that. Sorry.
answer that. Yep.
Okay.
It's okay.
Holly, thank you again. Biggest concern
Appreciate
when
it,
playing
Holly.
the Broncos next Sunday, if any.
That their defense is able to keep it close. That's it. I don't think their offense is going to do anything, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about their offense. I'm just worried about the pass rush being enough that Patrick gets into trying to make things happen again and gives the ball away. Simmons is crafty in particular, and if Patrick puts any of those things up, he's going to get it picked. So I think it's about control. Big Chief Sean made it. How are you, Sean? Julian, though, needs to keep the ball running through the running back and get the ball out quickly to make the playmakers. Absolutely. I would, if you don't, and you guys have heard me say this a couple of times, if you don't like take the first 15 and make it the first 25, I might be tempted to run the first 15 twice.
Yeah, I would too, because there's going to be one option open, even if they've seen it before. And they're running the ball well. I know they're not getting the 20-plus yard gains, but they're running the ball well. Like, they're able to get 6-7 yards a gain on some of these downs. So it's frustrating that they don't do it enough, and they need more power and gap. They do.
I have not watched any Rice Gary Holland. I didn't know Sean Taylor had a son that was playing. Interesting. That's like a family tradition. I would check that out, but I haven't seen it yet. He'll probably come up on my radar, I promise. Sexy accident. Has Melvin earned or to be re-signed yet, or do you think he's too expensive and will walk in free agency? I think if they have success down the stretch and they win a playoff game, which I fully expect them to do, I think Melvin will want to come back as long as he's contributing and getting the playing time that he thinks he deserves. I think he'll be worth it at that point.
I agree. I think he'll be a cheap next year.
Okay, cool. What's the chance that we get Ohio State wide receiver Jackson Smith next year? 0. Jackson Smith is a freshman, isn't he? Or is he?
I believe I don't know exactly.
He's not coming out.
He's not coming out. Next year. I don't know if he's coming out. He did say next year, but they're going to have a shot probably at Olave. I don't think Wilson's going to fall, but they'll have a shot at Olave.
Yeah,
and
I
Jackson
agree with you.
Smith-Njigba would be fine.
Yeah,
dude,
right.
Not just a slot guy; he's got speed.
Yeah, again, I go back to my first answer of the night, folks. Gooch, Picks Pool, Huddle, Rogue Life, Monday Night Live, Chief in the North on Thursdays, the Discord are all reasons to become a member. Gotta be a rookie. We have levels. Let's go Rogue. Gooch, You should be writing commercials. I know that the marketing is up your sleeve. So thank you very much, my friend. And we will continue, folks. Memberships are a cool part of this. Something that I never really expected to happen, but it's really grown into a cool deal, especially with the core members around here that are now contributors to the channel.
Done a great job.
Dan, I'm a big Hawkeye fan, and I didn't want Minnesota to beat Wisconsin. How bad will Iowa lose to Michigan this week?
So I'm a narcissist, like I'm not a narcissist, but I'm a negative person when it comes to this. I think Michigan's going to come down off this extremely emotional high, and Iowa's going to have a chance to beat them because that's just how Michigan plays football. Ideally, they stand no chance because Iowa's offense cannot do anything at all, and Michigan should win this running away, and it should be like 35-10. But it's probably going to be close because Michigan just beat Ohio State for the first time in 7 years or 8 years, and that's how Michigan football is.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think a letdown is probably in the future.
Yeah,
I like that spicy, juicy football ginger sauce. I'm with you there,
nice.
Holly. Southern Belle, what's your opinion of the Baker Mayfield situation? I don't think it's a situation anymore. I think Baker. I think it was a decision. Maybe they were hopeful. I think he's played his way out of Cleveland.
And it's not his, like, it's some of it's not his fault. Like the injuries,
not
necessarily his fault, but he's making it worse by playing through them. But it's also a double-edged sword. Guess what happens if you don't play through them? They don't sign you anyway.
Right.
I personally think that a healthy, what's his face? Case Keenum is better right now than a Baker Mayfield who's hurt. But they are letting him play through these injuries. So it's not, like I said, it's not a thing anymore. Baker will not be in Cleveland next year. If he is, it's not even going to be close to the contract he was supposed to get.
Yeah, I agree. You can't pay him $40 million a year. That's ridiculous. Thank you, Aaron. I think we got him out of here and we won't have any trouble with that anymore.
All right.
Hardman is untradeable. He doesn't have any value. He's inconsistent. Nothing can be done other than to try to let him develop and see what Joe Blairmeyer can do. Again, check out the Burton interview. He talks about having a wide receiver classic come down and become the running back coach. The opposite's true with the wide receiver room too. So maybe something else can happen. But at this point, Alan McColl will play out his contract as a rookie in Kansas City, and then he'll become a free agent. I know I asked Ryan before, can we get some Rogue Nation koozies? Yes. I think I have a line on those. And I am working on some like Christmas gear, so hopefully we can get some new things out to you guys. Kevin, do you think the reason Gordon and Gray will get 3 or 4 targets a game down the stretch, if we spread the targets, wouldn't it spread the defense out more? Absolutely. I would love to see each of them get targeted 4 times a game. I think Josh got 2. I think that's the most. No, we got 3 out of Gray 2 games ago or whatever. Yeah. That's the most either of them has seen.
It's bad, man.
If Taylor's brother got a game ceiling in on the anniversary of his passing. Oh, it's Taylor's brother. Okay. That's cool.
That is pretty
cool.
Wow,
what an age difference too. I didn't realize that, Gooch. And I will check out Rice. So rock and roll. I like that. We're gonna wrap these last couple up, folks, and then I think we're just about caught up, right in the nick of time, right?
Just about.
What's the word on Saunders? Haven't heard anything. He's been inactive since he got that. I think it was a shoulder strain. And he's still on the report, but he's practicing. So I don't know if that means he's getting closer. Hopefully this extra week off will help him because I think they could use him in the rotation to keep everybody fresh.
I agree, but they're also not – they haven't needed him. And that's something that worries me a little bit about his projection going forward because I think he plays very well this year when he's been called upon. Got hurt again for the 3rd time now, I think. The 3rd time now. That's a concerning problem when you have Reed, who maybe extends past this year. You have Wharton. You already have Jones. And Nadi, it becomes a numbers game. And right now, he's just kind of working his way out of it with injuries.
Yeah. I'm pulling for the guy. I'll tell you guys that.
Me too.
Wish I had a better answer. And Night Hunter, you just hit my thoughts as well. Doug, thank you. I'm glad that you enjoy it. We're working our tails off here. Whose contract is the Chiefs' contract they need to get done first? Matthews, Brown, or Hill? I mean,
probably Hill, I think. Probably when you have to get done first.
I don't know that there's an order to it between Brown and Hill. I think the question is, can you get something done that's reasonable with Matthew? I'm not sure.
We'll see.
Yeah. I'm a Night Hunter. Yeah. I would do this. I would do this tomorrow.
Me
Short
too.
yardage. I mean, he can play both positions. No reason you have to pigeonhole him.
Correct.
But let's not put a label on Colin Saunders, folks.
He's too athletic for that.
He is too athletic for that. All right, rock and roll. Thank you, guys. I will check out Sean Taylor's little brother from Rice, I guess. That's awesome. Thank you for being here on a Monday night. Dan will have something for you tomorrow. He'll have film on Wednesday. Do not miss that one. And then Seth and I return for Thursday night live stream. I hope that you guys have a great week. Get ready for the Denver Broncos. It's getting spicy around here. I'm seeing stuff around town. So if you happen to be a Chiefs fan in Colorado, please hit the chat and leave the comments. If you would, like, sub, and subscribe and do the thing with the stuff. And I'm going to go have some dinner. You all have a great night. Bye.